please allow me to take a wonderful and great pleasure in introducing our keynote speaker. Her name is Amaka Nwaokolo from Fate Foundation.
Amaka presently heads the Fate Institute,
which is the research, policy, and advocacy arm of Fate Foundation, leading innovative thinking
and creates platforms to enable idea exchange and problem-solving strategies to foster sustainable entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amaka. Thank you.
Hello, 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 everybody. Can we keep the energy up? An applause for our host. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished entrepreneurs. I bring you warm greetings from Lagos, Nigeria, and I mean that literally because it's been freezing here. Today I'm speaking very briefly on a topic I have titled Africa's Gold Mine, the Youth. When I think of the world we currently live in and how it's brimming with possibilities, it's the young minds of Africa that come to mind. We see them stepping up to take the helm of innovation, creativity, and economic transformation. With over 60% of its population under the age of 25, Africa is home to the world's youngest population and truly stands at the threshold of an unprecedented opportunity. Africa's gold mine is not its oil or diamonds or its gold, it's its young people. These young minds are innovative, resilient, adaptable, energetic, socially conscious, and I could go on and on. Yet, the path ahead is not without its challenges, as limited access to quality education, healthcare, and employment opportunities often lead to untapped potential of the youth. This is, however, quickly changing as the continent continues to embrace and nurture youth entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a proven vehicle through which dreams become reality, ideas transform into actions, and challenges evolve into opportunities. Through entrepreneurship, young individuals are taking charge of their destinies, challenging the status quo, and driving economic growth that is sustainable and inclusive. This is evidenced by the stories we find in every corner of the continent of young entrepreneurs who are rewriting the narrative of Africa's potential. I'm very glad to see and to share that we have some of them sitting with us in the room today. These young leaders are taking risks, driving change, and very importantly, creating jobs, oftentimes employing their peers and those younger than they are. Let me share some data from our survey in Nigeria using Nigerian entrepreneurs as an example. Now, part of the work we do in Nigeria is collating data to engage and drive policy influencing, design, and implementation. By we, I am referring to the Fate Institute, which is the research and policy advocacy division of Fate Foundation. And Fate Foundation is a 23-year-old nonprofit working to enable Nigerian entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale sustainable businesses in Nigeria. Every year, we develop and put out a report titled The State of Entrepreneurship in Nigeria Report, which assesses the state of entrepreneurship across the 37 states in Nigeria using 5 key indicators. We have business performance, skills acquisition, innovation and technology, enabling environment, and perception of opportunities. Now, a key segment of this report looks at young entrepreneurs specifically. For 2 years in a row, we've had enabling environment come list on the entrepreneurial index and perception of opportunities top the entrepreneurial index, with over 70% of that number coming from young people. Last year, we surveyed 8,611 businesses across the 37 states in Nigeria. And of that number, almost 30% were young entrepreneurs aged between 15 and 29. Interestingly, about 52% were aged between 30 and 39. But my focus is on the demographic 15 to 29. Now, despite elevated risks in the business environment in Nigeria, which are quite a lot, 74% of these young businesses experienced growth in the last 1 year, particularly in the area of customer acquisition, revenue, profits, and cash flow. One major driver of growth was skills acquisition, as almost 50% indicated taking a training in business management and reported its impact on business growth. Almost 30% employed new staff last year, creating full-time and part-time jobs. A lot of the challenges that Nigerian entrepreneurs, youth entrepreneurs face are very similar to what their counterparts in other African countries experience. Number one, access to finance. This is a problem because young people cannot meet the collateral requirements often put forward by financial institutions and/or do not have the credit history. To bridge this finance gap, what we need to do is rethink the funding models and create tailored financial products to leverage opportunities that the funding gap presents while ensuring risks are effectively mitigated, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Access to markets is also a challenge, which can be mitigated by ensuring young entrepreneurs in Africa are competitive and can compete regionally and globally. Now, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement readily comes to mind when I think of access to markets. And the hope is that countries would fully implement this policy so that we can see the impact across Africa. Other challenges that youth entrepreneurs face include limited business and entrepreneurial knowledge, primarily because we do not have entrepreneurship included in our educational curriculum. And sometimes when it is not done practically or in a way that it is relevant. Other challenges include access to mentoring support and guidance from more experienced entrepreneurs. We also have poor policy design and implementation on youth entrepreneurship. Our approach to addressing some of these gaps include providing entrepreneurship education and resources, which we do through the Faith School of Entrepreneurship, another division of Faith Foundation. And then what we also do is engage with governments using data to influence policy design and implementation. There has got to be an intentional approach to designing and implementing inclusive policies affecting young entrepreneurs and young people. And I say inclusive because when we talk about young people, there are several layers to that. We need to think about gender, and we need to think about those living with disabilities. We can equip young entrepreneurs with the education and the support needed to thrive. But these efforts will yield little or no results without an enabling environment, an enabling business environment. A good example of a youth-centric policy is the Nigeria Startup Bill that was signed into law last year, so recently, and its operational committee was inaugurated this year. Again, the hope with that is that we'll see more work and results with implementation. Now, speaking of policies, I would like to encourage young entrepreneurs, some of them sitting in the room today, to engage with the government in their respective countries. You can do this by becoming members of business membership organizations, industry or trade groups. I'm sure you have some in your countries, but it's important that you engage with these organizations and take an active role in these organizations, because that way you get to understand and you get exposed to policy processes, existing frameworks that dictate the policies in your proposed industry or sector. It also allows you to build entrepreneurial leadership. On a final note, and this is to the youth entrepreneurs in the room, the journey you have chosen is not an easy one. But I dare say, believe in your vision. I dare say your dreams are not mere fantasies. They're actually the blueprints for a better tomorrow and a greater Africa, the Africa we all envisage, the Africa we all want to see. I would say embrace failure, right? It is not the end. Failure is a stepping stone towards success. Collaboration is your secret weapon. In a world that is increasingly more connected, you want to seek partnerships that, amplify your strengths and strengthen your weaknesses. Together, you can achieve what might seem impossible trying to do that alone. Stay hungry for knowledge as the world is constantly evolving. Remember your roots and communities. As you soar to new heights, do not forget the communities that raised you. Use their success to uplift others, to create opportunities, and to inspire the next generation. And to the ecosystem players in the room, playing one supportive role or another, first off, thank you for the work you do. The oftentimes unseen and tiring work that you do. But please stay motivated. Your efforts are shaping Africa's destiny through our youth entrepreneurs. With their innovation, their dedication, and unwavering spirit, they are sculpting a legacy that will be remembered for generations to come. And you will be a part of that legacy. Many thanks to the ALA Academy and the Anzisha Prize team for the work that you do, for inspiring us and showing us a model that works for equipping young leaders for the future we like to see in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Amaka.